This talk is about the life in yoga approach, the approach which we have evolved. The life in yoga approach is called 5x3x1 approach. It is actually a derivative of Ashtanga yoga for commonplace application of yoga. We talk of 5 categories of practices, 3 modalities of exercising or practicing, and 1 requirement that makes that practice or exercise into yoga. This one requirement in yoga is that one must do any practice with one pointed inner focus, and that over time becomes that of a pure observer. This is what makes any exercise into yoga, since this pure observer process is said to purify the nadis, according to the Yoga Sutras. To understand nadis, please see the previous lectures. The 5 categories of exercises or practices are physical alignment practices, and this is the function of asanas. Second, breathing practices that optimize vitality. This is the function of pranayama. Third, vibration modulation that establishes biochemical connectivity. This is the function of pratyahara. Fourth, thought or affirmation practices that channelize internal focus. This is the function of dharana. Fifth, pure observation practices of meditation that helps to reset the inner system. This is dhyana. These 5 categories of practices are 5 of the 8 elements of Ashtanga yoga. The first 2 are yama and niyama, and the last is samadhi. And these are the 3 that are missing from this list of 5 for special reasons. Samadhi is not a practice. It happens when the system is purified enough and there is a need for cosmic connectivity. Samadhi automatically happens. Yama, or being true to one's conscience, and niyama, or being regular, are in the individual domain of mental preparation and cannot be practiced in a yoga class. It has to be part of a person all the time. If a person does not have them, they will not progress in yoga. However, if they begin with any practice in time, the transforming process of yoga invariably helps with yama and niyama. The 3 modalities of practice are stretch, hold and release approach. Second, constant motion approach. And third, cyclical rhythmic approach. Stretch, hold and release approach is the conventional approach of yoga coming from Hatha Yoga practices, where one smoothly and gently goes into a posture, stretching certain portions of the body and gently goes into a posture. I made a mistake. Shall we begin from the beginning? The 3 modalities of practice are: first, stretch, hold and release approach. Second, constant motion approach. And the third, cyclical rhythmic approach. The stretch, hold and release approach is the conventional approach of yoga coming from Hatha Yoga practices, where one smoothly and gently goes into a posture, stretching certain portions of the body and maintains it for a period of time and then releases slowly. In Sanskrit, it is called Arambha, Sthiti and Visarjan. This type of exercise has biggest impact on purification of the nadis. The second mode of exercising, constant motion approach, is the conventional approach of most cardiovascular exercises like running, cycling or swimming. Even if these exercises are done with one point focus that later becomes that of a pure observer, and that makes it into a yoga exercise, that nadi purification impact is less than that of stretch, hold and release approach of yoga. However, for most people it is easier to do this form of exercising relative to the stretch, hold and release exercising, since the mind needs to be calm in order to hold the posture for a while, which is not for most people. And so this constant motion approach of exercising is often easy for many people. The third modality is cyclical rhythmic exercising, and this is the method of slow building speed in motion and going into really very fast pace, and that fast speed is unsustainable for too long, and then immediately after going into the slowest speed and then slowly again building speed to complete that cycle, and like this you go into several cycles. Several cycles done in this manner has an impact on purification of the nadis that is in between the stretch, hold and release and the constant motion exercise. This exercise approach, an example would be Sudarshana Kriya of Art of Living, and another example is the Life in Yoga approach exercise which we have created called cyclical rhythmic exercising of the breath, or CRE breath. Thus, the Life in Yoga approach is a practical application of the principles of yoga from the Yoga Sutras, which we call as Life in Yoga 5x3x1 approach. For tips on making progress with these practices or understanding the conventional medicine understanding of these workings, please see the next presentation.